Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session on creativity and well-being. I'm Martin Green, and I'm the Chief Executive of the English Community Care Association and the Department of Health's Independent Dementia Champion, and I'm going to be chairing this session. I think this session is going to be really interesting because we have got two speakers, one who is doing a tremendous amount of work around creativity and well-being, and one who is a commissioner who has had the good sense to commission something which is very much about well-being rather than just about delivering a service. So I'm really looking forward to hearing both their presentations. The commissioner is Emma Hanson, and Emma is Head of Strategic Commissioning and Community Services at Kent County Council. Emma has a long and distinguished career, though to see her, you wouldn't believe that anybody that young could have had a long and distinguished career. But she is a trained social worker, and she's also been involved in a range of other activities in social care, and now is leading the strategic approach to commissioning. And Emma will be followed by our next speaker, who is Chris from Ladder to the Moon. Now, Chris is very much a social entrepreneur who developed Ladder to the Moon around activities and innovation and creativity in the care sector. And it's been a very successful initiative. And I know that because lots of my members engage with it. And it's going to be really interesting to hear what Chris does in his project, Ladder to the Moon, and also to see why Emma decided that she wanted to commission it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd first like to introduce Emma. Thanks. See, this is they've thrown me. I'm first introducing Chris. Thanks.
It's more of a double act, in fairness. Hi, welcome. Thank you very much for coming. As Martin said, I direct Ladder to the Moon, and we're talking today about a project that Emma commissioned in Kent. Anyone on Twitter, that's me, at LadderChris, feel free to live tweet today. Just to introduce you briefly to what Ladder to the Moon are about, it's really about improving the quality of care services, focusing on customer satisfaction and staff engagement. And for us, those two things really go hand in hand. And our approach uses workforce development alongside organisational development and developing the community around the care services that we're working in and working with. We're founder members of the National Skills Academy and got a large grant investment from the Department of Health through their Innovation Fund and Skills for Care. And so that's kind of where we've developed from and how we've developed the programmes that we deliver. As Martin mentioned, a number of your members are working with us. We work with some of the large care providers and also mid-scale not-for-profits and independent providers, local authorities and NHS. The company itself, we're a community interest company, so we're working on a not-for-profit basis as a social enterprise. And this is essentially our proposition, that if you place activity, creativity, well-being at the heart of care services, then you get the emotional experience that everyone involved in care wants. They get the outcomes that they want. And when you get that, you get the occupancy. If you're a residential service, you get people coming, purchasing, commissioning your services. And you also control costs because staff are enjoying themselves, because they're having a good time at work, because they want to be there. And for me, it's all about the human side of things. It's all about the people involved. But on the other side of it is very much about the business side. Why does this matter? Why does this make a difference? And this is just by way of an example of a service that we worked in, residential care service. This is staff sickness absence for 18 months. Leading up to us working in that service. The blue line is the service, the grey line is across the group for comparison. So you can see there's approximately double the amount of sickness in this particular service than across the group. And their chief exec brought us in, commissioned us to run a programme, and this is what happened over the next 6 months. You can see how that sickness absence dropped off from a figure around about 200 mark down to well below 50. And that represents something in the region of £200,000 to that provider. And that comes about because of this. Because people are enabled in such a way to bring about joy, happiness, well-being, creativity, both for the person who's living in that home and also for the person that's working, supporting that individual. So that's kind of the basis for where we're coming from. I just want to talk very briefly about those underpins, about well-being, about creativity, about activity. When we talk about well-being, we're talking about a very specific model of well-being underpinned by positive psychology that talks about these 5 realms as being crucial to people's happiness, to their potential to flourish. And so that is the underpin that we work from on well-being. And when we talk about creativity, yes, we are talking about creative activity, and that's important, but what we're really talking about is creative mindsets. We're talking about enabling people to be open, to be adaptable, to connect, to find solutions to problems, to shift out of that stuck, often task-focused culture into a culture of, yes, let's, what can we do, how can we, and being open and believing that there's nothing to get right, there's nothing to get wrong. It is all about releasing potential. So those are kind of the underpins. I just want to mention activity briefly because I think it's a problematic word in our sector. When we talk about activity, what we're talking about is the things that are important to people, the occupation, the engagement, the meaning, the achievement that people want in their lives. We're not talking about a programme that CQC has asked you to have on the wall and get a group of people together to engage in bingo or a sing-along. Great, if that's what they love doing, brilliant, let's have that happening. But we're talking about individuals engaged in whatever is important to them day in, day out, as well as the whole community coming together for events. This isn't about entertainment, it's not about activity, it's about events on the big scale, and it's about the individual on the small scale. So I hope that just gives you a kind of little bit of background into how we work, why we do it. Just going to hand over to Emma now to talk a little bit about why she commissioned us.
Is that okay? I met Chris about 2 years ago when my job was commissioning dementia services for the NHS and for the local authority. I was in a joint role at that point in time at a conference very similar to today. Listened to Chris speak and just thought, wow, there's a really interesting concept here. I wanted to take it back and think how we could do that in Kent County Council. Improving dementia care is a strategic priority for Kent County Council and the 7 CCGs that we work for. We've got a large range of care homes in Kent and we have quality of variable quality across those care homes. We've got some really examples of excellent practice, but some care homes we'd really like to see the culture and some continuous improvement in the quality of care that they provide. My history is I'm a social worker, I was a care manager, I managed a team of care managers for 7 years and I've done an awful lot of work around safeguarding, quality of care. I've been in and out of care homes more times than I'd like to remember, seeing training schedules on the wall saying these people have been trained in dementia care, going out onto the shop floor and seeing absolutely no evidence of any understanding of dementia care in the workplace. And I was, how could we change this culture? How could we put something into care homes which reconnects people, which isn't about learning, different subtypes of dementia or brain chemistry, is about bringing people back together. So that was my premise. And I just wanted to shake it up a little bit, do something a bit different, challenge the status quo. So, and really one of my big aims was to encourage sustainable change, bottom-up change, people on the coalface, people providing care, coming up with different solutions, feeling empowered in their working environments to make positive changes in the lives of the people they're providing care for. So that's why I thought, let's give it a go. We'll come on to the relationship as we go through the...